Today, you know, it sounds like we all agree very definitely that accounts must be segregated. If a person doesn't segregate an account and essentially steals the money, takes it in gambles it away, and we're not talking about any specific situation, but just in general, gambles it away, is that a rule breaking or is that a criminal process? Either one is fine.
Well,
what is the penalty for doing something like that, besides getting fined?
It is quite clear in the statute and in the rules of the commodities world that customer funds need to be segregated, and that those monies can only be invested in a certain list of permitted funds. Mm-hmm. They're not to be used for some other purpose other than for the customer, and that's supposed to be all day long, right, every day.
And if somebody does that, though, if they break that rule and they use those funds, you know, for riskier investments or whatever, what happens to the individual that does that?
Under
individuals.
I might have to defer to have staff get back to you, but on the Commodities and Exchange Act, we just have civil money penalties that we pursue in segregation cases. So it's just civil money.
The SEC is also a civil enforcement agency, so we would have the ability to fine someone, to
yeah. Well, I think the problem,
but the criminal authorities could certainly pursue a criminal case if they can meet the standards of proof that are required there. Breaking the rules can and should lead to enforcement action, and where appropriate, criminal action as well.
I guess the problem that I have, and I think the people of Arkansas, is that, you know, if you go into a financial institution, you rob the bank or you rob the financial institution, you know, that's a federal crime. That's highlighted if you saw J. Edgar Hoover, the movie, recently. But, you know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. The resources of the federal government are going to come to bear, and you're going to go to jail for that crime. If a person, you know, through doing this other, essentially can steal hundreds of billions of dollars, and there is no penalty except for some civil penalty, that's a real problem.
Senator, if I can add, my good general counsel was able to tell me the words. In the Commodities and Exchange Act, it does say if individual knowingly and willfully violates the Commodities Exchange Act, that's a criminal violation for the individual.
And we have a history of prosecuting those kind of things.
It's happened.
Well, that's not a history. Okay. And again, this is a real problem. And this is why the American people are losing faith in their institutions. Now, tell me about you all, in the sense that one of the concerns I have, you can be so close to these things that you almost don't really realize when things are going on. What is your protocol for investigating yourself in this process? Are your IGs involved now, or what's going on?
We will do a lessons learned review.
So will you have an IG investigation regarding this?
I'm not sure what they would investigate.
Well, we had the meltdown in '08. You know, lots of stuff going on. We passed Dodd-Frank, tremendous increase in regulation. This stuff continues to go on. I guess I would like to know, and I think the American people would, you know, to make sure that the individuals in your agency are actually doing the job that we entrust them to do.
Well, that's certainly.
And it's hard to self-regulate yourself. You said yourself a while ago that you're the policeman, and I agree with that. The policemen have separate departments when things happen, and something big has happened, to make sure that the people involved were doing the appropriate thing.
Senator, I agree, and we will look carefully, I don't know through what mechanism, at the agency's response here, but we should be clear that this was potentially violations of a very, very serious nature by the firm, and that caused this firm to fail. And while we'll always look at our conduct to see if we can do better and do more, you know.
We want to make sure also that there was not, how would I say it, well, for whatever reason, that the agencies did not do as good a job as they could have done in making sure that they were policing to make sure that this didn't happen in regard to this instance. I mean, is that fair?
I think it's always important for regulators when there's been a problem in an industry, whether it's the May 6th flash crash or any other kind of event, to take a look at whether things could have been done differently. We always do that.
So an IG investigation would not be an overreach?
Well, we'll take some approach to looking at what we can do to tighten up our rules, tighten up our procedures, approach our examination processes differently, whether FINRA did, and I would imagine on the commodity side, the CME did as effective a job as possible.
Well, Madam Chair, I hope that we can, you know, talk about this again. I think that would be very, very appropriate. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Senator. And as you're aware, we do have a specific hearing on December 13th regarding MF Global, and we'll...
I can't wait.
We will have a number, starting with the victims, because I think that is the most important thing for us, is to make sure we understand what this is really about, and that this is real people that have been hurt in this situation. So thank you very much. Senator Thune.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and I